Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Turnbull, co-director of the Psychosocial Safety and Leadership Institute, and I am very excited to be chatting with Tony Morris from SafeTM today. Now, we're going to have a quick chat about who Tony is, what SafeTM offers, why this work matters, and how you can connect with him if you'd like to learn more. Tony, thank you so much for being part of the collective.
Thank you, Nicole. Great to be here.
And for anyone who hasn't met you before, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure, thanks very much. So relevant to work, because I am a father and a husband, and I've got two kids, very happily married, but relevant to work. I started my career as a police officer, so in the New South Wales Police, and that
Yep.
was many years ago, Nicole, in the 80s, in fact. That's how old I am. Just giving everyone an idea. I started in New South Wales Police in general duties, and then I became a detective and then a police prosecutor. But I also studied my law whilst at the police. So I went to law school at night to study that. I got my law degree, and after 10 years in the police, I left
Mhm.
and I became a lawyer at Work Cover New South Wales in 1997. And there I was prosecuting under the then Occupational Health and Safety Act of 1983. See, I told you it was old. 1983 OH&S Act, and I was prosecuting on behalf of the inspectors there, about 200 inspectors. There were about 8 of us lawyers there prosecuting for them.
Mhm.
And I prosecuted for 3 years on behalf of Work Cover New South Wales, and I got tired of prosecuting day after day. You can imagine day after day, either was preparing for a case to go to court or was in court arguing a case, and most often was after a death or serious injury.
Yeah.
Um, Back then, by the way, there was really no such term as psychosocial risk, and
Yeah.
there wasn't any prosecutions at all to do with psychosocial risk or psychological health. It was all about physical, usually death or a limb missing or fingers being cut off. That's what we did, and we had many, many cases to do. So you can imagine that every day after 3 years, it got a little bit tiring, and also I didn't feel the purpose that I first joined with. And so I
Mm.
left in the year 2000 with another lawyer, and we started a boutique work health and safety consultancy called the Brief Group. Um, and the Brief Group went for 13 years, and we built up that business. And basically, since the year 2000, I've been helping companies design safety management systems, implement those systems, a lot of training that goes with that, investigations after a death or serious injury on behalf of the client or the organisation where that occurs. And many other things. And then the business was acquired by Deloitte Australia in 2013. And I
Mhm.
became their national work health and safety partner there. So that was a real interesting, challenging, but also rewarding experience there being a partner with Deloitte. I was
Mhm.
there for 7 years, after which I was ready to move. I'd had enough of the big four environment then. It's very challenging there, but it's also, as I said, very rewarding. And it was during COVID, actually, I left. So before all the big four um, were on the nose as a result of the PwC scandal that we all know about now,
Yeah.
I had left before then. I moved to Ashurst, which is a global legal firm. Some people may know Ashurst. They created a consulting arm called Ashurst Risk Advisory.
Mhm.
And I became their national work health and safety partner there in risk advisory. And so I started up another team that was providing support, the same type of supporting work health and safety to businesses, mainly large organisations and or government organisations we were supporting. And I was there for 4 years. It was only last year, about a year ago now, I cashed in all my partnerships and
Mhm.
I decided I'll just have my own business, which is SafeTM up here. Um, and I decided that I'll just do what I really enjoy
Mm.
in work health and safety, and that's what SafeTM is, and that's what it does. And I'm very happy being in this business by myself. I'm not looking to grow the business as such. I've got a few people that present with me, and I'll
Yeah.
explain that later in what we do. But
Yeah.
um, it's a business that I want to see through to my retirement, which is many years away right now.
And Tony, just wow, your experience and your background is incredible. And like I'm looking at it going, this is what the collective is about, right? Like meeting incredible people like you, and there is no way that I could learn what you know and teach what you do. So to be able to partner together and go, wow, Tony, this is his strength. He is the go-to expert in this area, is exactly, what we're about and why we're looking to leverage and support to be able to raise the bar for the industry. So,
Well, thank you. I feel the same way about the backgrounds of all the people within the institute that I speak to. It's the same thing.
yeah.
I just have such a different background, so they provide all the missing pieces with respect to psychosocial risk that I don't provide.
Yes. And you're right. Like if we want to grow and be bigger and offer more, then it's, build a team, build a bigger organization. And in the collective, we just want to do something different
Yeah.
and work together to support each other, but also to support, organizations in that area. So I wouldn't say old at all. I would say wisdom, absolute wisdom.
Thank you.
The knowledge you can gain from all of those organizations, from all of the things that you've done, is so unique and so
Yeah,
necessary and needed. And I'm excited to learn a little more about SafeTM. So, what do you do
great.
there and what do you offer?
Well, the good thing is that SafeTM only offers three things.
Mm.
So it's really easy for me to explain to you. And the way that I came about those three things is, what do I really enjoy most about work health and safety in my work? And so they are the three things that I do at SafeTM. And they are probably the leading one is the work health and safety mock courts, what I call a cultural jolt session for leaders, executives, and managers to help them understand how important their work health and safety management system is. It's probably less about the law, albeit that they've learned about the duties in the law. It's more about how important it is to measure, monitor, and maintain their systems and
Mhm.
what can happen when they don't.
Yeah.
In a safe environment, which is the mock court. I mean, after all, it's just a mock court. It's not real. But when we get executives and managers in there and they're sitting and watching, and their people are playing the witness roles, and one of them plays the judge and one will play the court officer, we play the lawyers. So it feels real, particularly if we get a real life courtroom as the background and as the venue. And I love presenting them because I can see the changes and the looks on their faces, that it's not only sinking in, it's having an effect.
Mm.
And by effect, I mean what it tends to do is make people feel somewhat uncomfortable about how they're currently managing health and safety, which means they're prepared to change. And it is that's why I call it a cultural jolt session. I love delivering them. And then it's over to the business to corral that energy from the executives about where they want it to go to improve health and safety at the organisation. So that's probably the flagship service. The other thing I do is I provide work health and safety due diligence for officers training.
Mm.
So they're the more shorter, sharper. They learn it in the mock courts, same thing. But this is when I'm asked to present to boards. I've got, they tell me I've got an hour, or I've got 45 minutes, or you've got, Tony, you've got half an hour, or you've got 15 minutes now because we're behind the timetable to present on due diligence. And whenever I walk in, whatever time they say, it always goes over.
Yeah.
So it's always a minimum 1 hour, even if they give me 20 minutes, because all the executives have questions. But that's the second thing that I do.
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing that I do, which is a little bit different, so I don't design safety management systems, I don't do audits anymore. What I do is I provide strategic advice to leaders on how to take informed work health and safety risk.
Mm.
So I explain it to them that the law doesn't say you must provide a risk-free workplace.
Mm.
It says you must provide a risk-free workplace so far as is reasonably practicable.
Yeah.
So my advice, it constitutes my knowledge of the law, but it's about giving practical advice about how to take informed risk.
Mm.
And I feel that many executives, many leaders lack that independent, objective advice, and that's what they asked for me to come in and do.
Yeah. And we find that as well, is people go, oh gosh, we've got to manage these risks, and they look at them like physical safety, and that's not what reasonably practicable is
That's right.
about. So that is so necessary and so needed, and I will be touching base with you after this. Chat more about that.
See, how good's this?
But what makes your approach or your service unique?
Yeah, look, I think everyone, knows their uniqueness. For me, I suppose it's that background, my experience that I've explained.
Hmm.
The other thing that I provide is I provide the legal and the practical experience.
Yeah.
I often find that clients are asking for legal advice and they get exactly that legal advice, which is not necessary practical advice about what to do. So I don't give legal advice. I am a lawyer, an ex-lawyer. I'm
Hmm.
still on the role as a lawyer, but I have not practiced for over 25 years as a practicing lawyer. So, and I don't carry the insurance. Now,
Hmm.
I give practical advice based upon the law.
Yeah.
Um, and that's a real difference, I think, that because I think many clients are getting legal advice that just simply is not practical and they're not able to implement. Um, the other thing that I'd say is everything that I do is always tailored. There's
Mm.
never an off the shelf, even if you're getting a work health and safety due diligence for officers presentation, I always include a consultation session before
Mm.
about the nuances of that working environment, their risk profile, their structure, so that when I'm presenting to the executives, I know that and I tailor everything. Of course, all the mock courts are tailored for whatever scenario the client wants, and the strategic advice I give is always tailored.
Mhm.
And the only other thing I'd say is I always look at the big picture. I think if you ask anyone in isolation, and again, this is why the institute's so important, the collective, because together we can look at the total picture.
Yeah.
I like to look at the bigger picture by consulting with the right people and including all the relevant experts, but ultimately I might have to provide the advice under SafeTM,
Mhm.
um, uh, indicating within context what risk they can take. And I think that requires the bigger picture outlook.
Yes, definitely. And look, I might assume the answer to this question because we have already chatted a little bit about it, but I never assume because you always get gold when you ask this question. But why is this work important to you?
Oh gosh, look, I love doing what I do, and I wasn't ready to retire at all, even though I could have if I wanted to. When I cashed my partnerships in at the end of the partnership, and when I sold the business, it's not about financial reasons that I'm here,
Mm.
and that's why I thought to myself, well, what do I really enjoy doing? I'm here because I'm passionate about work health and safety and people.
Yeah.
And I know the things that we provide at SafeTM and through the Institute actually saves people's lives. And we also know, and I've known for many years, that some of the things that I've done have saved people's lives, but we'll never know who because those lives have been saved and the risk hasn't crystallized into an incident where there's been a death or serious injury, even
Yes.
though I never know who those people are, what they do. And that drives me. That drives me because I can see the changes in the executives' faces, those that make decisions that affect the risk at the shop floor. Ultimately, they are making decisions that affect sons and daughters' lives that are working at those companies. And I know that the presentations I give to those leaders have the relevant effect. And I always say to them, this is not about the law in the. I'll explain the law and I'll explain the wrath of the law and how it can catch you out. But
Yeah.
this is about people. This is about saving people's lives, and that's someone's son or daughter at work. And I say, this is why I do this.
Mm.
And in most instances, they're all nodding and they're all agreeing that, when you make a decision, you don't have to reflect upon the law. You reflect on the fact that that is someone's life that your decision affects.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's what I do. I'm passionate about it, and you can hear me when I talk about it. And whenever
Yes.
I present, I do so the same.
Mm.
I love it.
Yes. And you can hear that. And That's exactly, I think, why we're drawn together as well.
Yeah,
And just want to make a little mention. Thank you for being a judge in the first Psychosocial Safety and Leadership Awards. And
a
the,
pleasure.
the reason why it triggered that memory to bring it up now is your co-judge in the category that you judged, Callista Kent, who has worked for WorkCover and Safe Work and a
Yeah,
multitude of others, said exactly those words on stage at the awards to say we're here and we're here to save lives. So
that's great.
yes, we love that, and having that purpose and that passion you can feel, and just your background and experience just really rolls that up really nicely as well.
Thanks, Nicole. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And what kind of organizations and leaders do you most enjoy working with?
Look, I must say I enjoy working with them all. Some are more challenging than others, but I really, really enjoy working with those that are curious,
Mm,
the ones that demonstrate that curiosity and also the knowledge that no workplace is perfect and there are always areas for improvement.
mm,
So, and this is why I say to leaders, it's very important and it's good if you feel uncomfortable about how you're currently managing health and safety, because that level of discomfort keeps you proactive, keeps you on the offensive, looking for where the issues are. And as I say, no system is perfect. So it, it's those leaders that are passionate about that. They're curious and they know, and they're trying to find out where are our areas of risk that we need
mm.
to allocate more time, cost, and resources to fix. And I've worked with some CEOs of well-known organisations, and I love their energy when they speak about it, and that gets me going as well. Let's go, come on, let's get into this and help you fix what it is you want to do. But let's also be very practical about what is reasonably practicable in the context of your organisation and what finances you have when you look at controls and what to put in. And this is where I think a lot of leaders become can become despondent with some safety advisors if they're providing advice that's simply not reasonable in the context of their operations or their finances or risk profile. And this is where sometimes safety gets a bad name.
Mm.
But yeah, it's the leaders that are know they're not perfect, know their organisations aren't perfect, but are striving to be the best that they can and care about the people first
Yeah.
and not so much about the law. I love working with them.
Yeah, fantastic. Tony, how can the community and others connect with you and find out more if they want to get in touch?
Just give me a call. I mean, there's my website, but more importantly, I'm part of the Institute
Hmm.
and I'm on the collective that you talk about. You can contact me through the Institute. My mobile's there everywhere. I'm very happy to chat to anyone that feels that I can help.
Yeah, fantastic. And look, a huge thank you not only for being a part of the collective, but for your incredible investment in safety over decades and the
Thanks, Nicole.
change and the impact that you create. The world needs more of you, and it is wonderful to be in partnership with you and to help showcase the amazing work that you do. Because it does save lives. It does, change opinions, and it gives people the practical tools that they need to be able to move forward. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and that's very humbling to hear because it's not often said. But I want to thank the Institute and I want to thank you, Nicole, for your passion and drive because I feel very much a part of this community. And I look forward to the next awards in 2026 and being there in person this time.
Yes, you will. Got it in the diary already.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Chat soon.
Good on you, Nicole. Thank you.